What is going on, community? What is going on, people of Earth? I am TJ, aka Flash by Night, and even though we missed a week, welcome back to Transformers Thursday. And today is the perfect day to run about and run amok. You'll see what I mean. So we start off the issue with Circuit Breaker, Donnie Finkelberg, and the now incapacitated and being studied Skids. If you remember the last issue, I was talking about how Donnie could be bought for a little more money. The government doubled what they were paying Donnie and offered him $50,000 to bring in an Autobot. At that time, he was with Skids and he was able to turn Skids off with an off button. Yes, apparently the Autobots have off buttons. And he turned Skids in, and Circuit Breaker is now studying Skids. We also find out what happened to the Aerobots after losing to the Stunticons. The Aerobots are also back at Circuit Breaker's lab, being studied, being torn apart. I don't feel like it's permanent because now she has like 13 Autobots. I don't think it stays this way, but it is pretty funny that she's picking them off one by one inconspicuously. Of course, Donnie getting this revelation and even just seeing Skids torn apart feels guilty and immediately wishes that he didn't do what he did. Meanwhile, at Decepticon headquarters, Megatron has two new Decepticons, Runabout and Runamuck, to go off and send a message to Optimus Prime personally. He wants to go ahead, one-on-one, settle their beef. One shall stand, one shall fall. And while that sounds great to Megatron, Runabout and Runamuck are not that serious, and they are not taking his direction seriously. So they decide to do something else, find a way to cause more trouble in their own special way. So we run into this family. The child in this family is rebellious. They're trying to take vacation across the country. He's just trying to spray paint buildings. And Runabout and Runamuck see this and they think it's a great idea. So instead of following Megatron's instructions to go deliver a message to Optimus Prime, they're going to tag the whole United States and all of its important landmarks. Of course, this catches the eye of Mr. Barnett, who runs the Government Intelligence Agency, and Circuit Breaker, and they figure out where Runabout and Runamuck are going next. But by the time they get there, they have already tagged the Washington Monument in DC, and they're off to do more dirty work. They also figured out that Runamuck and Runabout chose where they were going and chose the monuments based on following this poor family. And as the government tends to do, they use this poor family as bait. They have this poor family go to their next location. So when Runabout and Runamuck follows the family, they can follow the family and they can try to take them down, hopefully without casualties. The family's next stop, Philadelphia, Independence Hall. So they get there and Circuit Breaker and her team face off with Runabout and Runamuck. The only problem? There are people in the way, and while trying to save one of the children, Circuit Breaker gets shot. And while it's not lethal, it does do a lot of damage, and she can't go back out into the field the way she is, even though Runamuck and Runabout are still out there. The next time these two jokers show up, it's going to be in New York City, and they're going to deface the Statue of Liberty. And this is where we see the craziest idea yet. Circuit Breaker cannot go back out in the field as she is, but she has a whole bunch of Autobot parts, and she puts together this makeshift robot so that she can fight fire with Runamuck and Runabout. One interesting thing that happens in this firefight is that this makeshift robot, I guess, still kind of feels like an Autobot, because when one of our two Decepticon pranksters gets a good shot in at her, the makeshift robot puts a hand up to cover her from getting shot. And in the end, she does take down Runabout and Runamuck, but ends up getting fired from her government job because she did disobey orders. She was not supposed to go back into the field, and technically all of this was her fault anyway. And what of Donnie Finkelberg? Well, Donnie's had enough of the government. He's gone back home with his $50,000 check. but he decides to donate his $50,000 check to the restoration of the Statue of Liberty. Also, it looks like message or no message, we are going to get that showdown between Optimus and Megatron. And that was issue number 23 of Transformers. A little lighthearted story. I would advise Runabout and Run 'em Up not to run into Megatron anytime in the future. But besides that, issue number 24 is it. Not for the whole run, but at least for this first Prime and Megatron conflict. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you saw something you liked. If you did enjoy yourself, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with me, keeping up with the Transformers, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Of course, feel free to leave comments. And as we always do at this time, love yourself, love others, and I will be back in a flash.